Now let's look at another example. So we have a prom venue charges a rental fee plus a fee per student. So rental fee is kind of like just a fee that is fixed, and then you pay per student. The table on the right shows the total cost for different numbers of students at Lakeside Inn. So this is Lakeside Inn here in the yellow. The total cost Y in dollars for X students at Sunview Resort is represented by this equation here. So we have two things we are comparing. Our questions are, which venue charges less per student? And then the second question, how many students must attend for the total cost to be the same? So first, we already have one equation for Sunview Resort. So we don't really know what the Lakeside Inn charges, but we can figure it out. So we need to start with the table, right? So Lakeside Inn, we have a table, and we need to write an equation. So we can use slope formula. So I'm going to name this x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? So this is our y's here on the right. These are x's on the left. And so this is just our points. So we can find slope using the slope formula. So m equals 1,800, the y's, minus y1, which is 1,500, over, or x is 125 minus 100. So this is 300 over 25, and then 320 over 25 is 12. So that is our slope. Now we don't know our y-intercept, and it's kind of hard to see. We don't have a 0 here. We could figure it out, but what we're going to do is we're going to use point slope. Good practice, point slope formula. So remember, point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're going to use our x1, y1 here, and we have our slope of 12. So let's plug it in and solve. So we have y minus y1 is 1,500 equals m, which is 12, times x minus x sub 1, which is 100. So now we need to solve. We need to convert it to slope-intercept form, so it's a little easier to look at to compare to Sunview Resort up above. So this is 12x minus 1,200, and then we have our y minus 1,500. Now let's isolate our y by adding 1,500 to both sides. So now we have y equals 12x plus 300. So this is for Lakeside Inn. Now looking at Lakeside Inn, we can compare it with Sunview Resort. Which one charges less per student? So here this is $12 per student. This is $10 per student. So therefore we know that Sunview Resort charges less per student. So that's letter A. Now B, how many students must attend for the total cost to be the same? So we have two equations here. What do you think we could do in order to solve it for the cost to be the same? So what we're going to do is we're going to set them equal to each other. So y equals 10x plus 600, or y equals 12x plus 300. So we want the y values to be the same value. So y equals y, right? That's what we want. Now because y equals y, this y equals this y, then that means we can set the equations 10x plus 600 equal to 12x plus 300. That is when the cost will be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. So this is 10x plus 600 equals 12x plus 300. Now we solve. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. So I'm going to subtract 10x. So I want a variable on one side and the constant on the other. So we have 600 equals 2x plus 300. Then let's subtract 300 from both sides. So now we have 300 equals 2x. So we divide by 2. So x equals 150. So therefore, at 150 students, the cost will be the same. Okay, for both resorts. And so, kind of a real life problem, right? If you're really trying to choose a prom venue and you have, just say you do have 150 students, then maybe you want to be number one. Maybe this is Lakeside. It's called that because it's by a lake, or maybe Sunview Resort. Maybe it has some other nice amenities that you want to use. So just to kind of, know which one would be, that would kind of help you out with what decision to make. And then maybe it's cost. And so then maybe you choose a different one because of that. Now I want you to practice one. So just going to practice one for now. Here, and has smaller numbers. So Kelly and Kim are both babysitters. Kelly charges a flat fee of $10 plus $6 per hour to babysit. Okay, so there's a flat fee of $10 and $6 per hour to babysit. Then we're looking at Kim, and these are her babysitter fees. So just like the other one, you want to write an equation first, given the table, and then compare. Now this is a little tougher because you kind of have to also write an equation for Kelly, right? So flat fee of $10 and $6 per hour to babysit. So try to write that equation out. And then once you find the two equations, you're going to see who charges more per hour. And then B, how many hours must Kim and Kelly babysit for their total fees to be the same. So pause the video and see if you can try this out on your own. So just to check in, just to make sure you got the equations correct, Kelly was y equals 6x plus 10. So 10 is the flat fee, so that doesn't change. Now per hour, $6 per hour, so that's what's changing. So $6 times x, right? So every hour, you multiply by 6. Then for Kim, you use the slope formula. You would get 4. And then when you plug it into point slope formula, you'll find the equation is y equals 4x plus 18. So that's Kim and this is Kelly. So who charges more per hour? You can tell that that is actually Kelly charges more per hour. Charges more per hour. And then so letter B, how many hours must Kim and Kelly babysit for their total fees to be the same? So try to solve for that now. Okay, if you tried it out, you should set the equations equal to each other. 6x plus 10 equals 4x plus 18. And then you solve for x. You would find that x equals 4. So remember, x equals the total hours. So therefore, Kim and Kelly must babysit for a total of 4 hours for the total fees to be the same. Now you could plug it in and you would find that that would be true. And so, hopefully this kind of helps you out in this type of problem.